Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the 9th annual NFL mock draft for Going for 2 Live. I am here with a great panel of people today. Of course, we are usually live on Wednesday nights. Tonight's a special Sunday night show. We're on Facebook Live, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, Twitch. Also, you can find all of our content at GoingFor2.live and syndicated on all major podcast networks. We're running a little bit behind schedule here, but we'll catch up, I'm sure. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the panel here. We got Mr. Ryan Searfoss, of course, my co-host on the Armchair Fantasy Show, whose dog is making an appearance for the first time in a while. Ryan, I know you're having a fun night so far tonight, man. How you doing? And I think we lost audio again, Ryan.
Okay.
No. Or he muted himself.
We're good. I tried to mute to shut my dog off. I just moved. Nothing's set up in my house yet. I'm losing it, dude.
You're all over the place. It's all right, man. Your dog has not made an appearance in a while. He was out for a while there. He was a regular on the show.
Yeah. No, dude, he has a new window to look
all right.
out.
Also joining us tonight. Oh, gotcha. You see things outside. All right. Also joining us tonight, we got the only member of the panel that has been here for all 9 shows, Mr. Tim Strobel. You can follow him on Twitter at CatoDFS. What's up, Tim?
Oh, Geoff, I'm so happy to be back for another year. I tell you, this is my favorite show we do all year. It's always spicy picks on the draft show, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in just a little bit because we nailed a good one last year, too, that I want to talk about. Next up, the other co-host on my DFS show during the year. This past year, he took a year off, but of course, everybody knows Mr. Gerson Aguirre. You can follow him on Twitter at FantasyGDFS. What's up, Gerson?
Not much. How you guys doing? Yeah, man. I've only missed one of these shows. I've been on every single one except for this one. The one that you guys did. The OG one that you guys did. I wasn't on that one, but I was on all the other ones. But dude, I love this show. I'm super, super duper excited for this one. Every year, this is one of my favorite shows. And I feel like me and Tim say that, but really in reality, we have 3 favorite shows. This one, the Halloween show, and basically the NFL kickoff show.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically until one of us wins the Millie Maker, it's this show.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. All right. Also joining us tonight, she is a writer for Going for 2 and co-host of the 2-Point Conversion. And she should be the Panthers GM because she drafted CJ Stroud at the 101 last year on this podcast. I bet they wish they could have taken her advice on that one. Of course, it is Courtney. You can follow her on Twitter at LoveTractor3. What's up, Courtney?
What's up, guys? That's right. Exactly. If they would only listen to us armchair managers, then because they're regretting it right now. I mean, we'll see what happens, but CJ Stroud had one hell of a year. So,
yes,
yep.
He's that dude for sure.
Glad to be here.
Good stuff. Joining us for the first time, she is a contributor for the Draft Network. And you can follow her on Twitter at Murder She Wrote, which is one of the best Twitter names I think out there.
Thanks.
Miranda Marie, what's up, Miranda?
Not much. I'm excited to be here too. I dusted my live mock. This year knocked all the rust off a little bit, and I had one on Wednesday, so I'm kind of ready to do it again and have some different teams that I'm picking for too. So.
And you're a Packers fan, right?
I am.
Yeah, we have a fellow Tim's a Packers fan as well. So
it's the first year I've not drafted for the Packers. So
yeah.
Oh man, no pressure. I hope I make you proud.
All right. Also joining us for the first time, Mr. Reginald Johnson, Reggie, as we'll call him on the show. Yeah, this is true. This is true.
That's fair.
He is a fantasy content creator and former co-host of the Fantasy Fuel podcast. And you can follow him on Twitter at The Network. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for having me. I had this Phantom open tab audio when we first started. Like, what is happening here? I'm so glad to join you, and I'm excited. Haven't done one of these in a couple of years.
Good stuff. All right. As always, y'all, the show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check out their best ball leagues with huge tournaments, private leagues, pick'ems for all sports. Use our promo code GF2. Get a deposit match up to $100. It's as simple as that. You'll go download the app, go to underdogfantasy.com, use promo code GF2. We're going to be running a bunch of best ball drafts after the actual NFL draft, so make sure to be on the lookout for those as well. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump right into our NFL mock draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, and first up, we have for the Chicago Bears, Miranda, you have the 101, so no pressure here.
No pressure. I don't know. Obviously, I think this is a pretty safe bet at this point that the Bears are going to roll with Caleb Williams out of Southern Cal.
Probably the easiest pick of the night right there, I think.
Easiest pick of the night. Now, I could have sabotaged the Bears just to be funny as a Packers fan, but I'll be nice and keep things normal.
Fair enough. All right, yeah, 101 is pretty easy pick there. Courtney, you got the Washington Commanders here. There's a couple different options here, but where are you going?
There are a couple different options, and I know that old Drake May's been hyped up lately, but I'm going with quarterback LSU, Jaden Daniels. You know, rushing quarterbacks are more. They're just they're better, you know, and he rushes better. He looks better. Heisman Trophy winner. He's from the SEC. You know, I'm not always an SEC fan, you know, because I'm Ole Miss. Like last year, I was totally against Bryce Young. But I like Jaden Daniels. I like what he has, and I think that he is the better choice for the Commanders.
Yeah, good stuff.
Great call.
Yeah, I live here in the Washington, D.C. area, and that's kind of what they're talking about on the radio, too, is they really think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. They're kind of leaning that way. So, yeah, great pick there. All right, next up is the New England Patriots, and drafting for them is Mr. Reggie. And I forgot to hit my drop. I'm surprised Gerson and Tim didn't give me shit for it.
Oh.
There we go.
I knew something was missing.
Yeah, Reggie, you're up here for the New England Patriots.
Well, with the Patriots, they're kind of like the oddball here. We all know what they should do, or maybe it's just me. I think they should trade back. But under these circumstances, I think they're going to go with Steady Eddie and go with Drake May from UNC. It's like their hands are being forced right now. They need a lot of things on that team. And now that they have Jacoby Brisket, I think that Drake May going here puts him in a better situation than Daniels going to Washington, because he's going to play straight from the beginning. Maybe, hopefully, Drake May can sit down for about 8 games and get more comfortable and better at decision making. Mm-hmm. And they don't have much weapons, but come in with a little bit of a running room with some kind of security, because that team needs way too much.
Yeah, agreed 100%. I think that's pretty chalk, though. 1 through 3 there. I think that's pretty much how most of us expect it to go. This next pick, though, there's a little bit of intrigue here. Tim, I know there's some thought that they might trade out of this pick. Now, we don't do trades on this show because it'd make things too difficult and we could be here all night. But Arizona Cardinals are up next.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. I put this in there. Sometimes the best decisions are the easiest ones, right? They could trade down in a real-life scenario, but the safest option for GM Monty Austin-Ford is just to stay put and take Marvin Harrison. Truly a do-it-all wide receiver, can high point the football, amazing route runner, best wide receiver prospect in years, right? and the position they need the most. They have nobody at wide receiver. Everybody knows I was running out, 3K wide receivers all year last year on the Arizona Cardinals. So yeah, it's no, to me, it's second easiest pick. But I agree. I think in real life, this is a trade scenario for them if they can get out of it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I do think that they want to trade back if they can. But if
the Vikings trade up and get this pick and select JJ McCarthy, there's going to be 2 happy Green Bay Packers on this show. Really, really happy about that trade. And then
and Jared's going to melt down in real time.
Yeah, there's going to be a very unhappy wide receiver named Justin Jefferson who will say, I am no longer in contract negotiations with you guys. I am going somewhere else.
All right, let's see where we're at here. We're at the number 5 pick, and Ryan, you got the Los Angeles Chargers here.
Can we please just get for Justin Herbert? It's Malik. He's one of the best route runners in the class. He can play every on the field as a wide receiver. I know Marvin Harrison is this elite, all-time great prospect at the receiver position, but Neighbors isn't that far behind. He can fill in the gap, which huge one to fill with losing Cam and him again for their next 2 to 3 more receivers.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors seems like a pretty easy choice there. Obviously, I think, Ryan, you would agree with me if the Cardinals do trade out and McCarthy was to go at 4, do you think they go with Marvin Harrison Jr. at this pick?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah. If Harrison's there, we take it. God damn it.
Agreed. All right, we are up to the number 6 pick, moving right along. So far, it's pretty chalky, so I'm not going to get too much input from the panel here because we pretty much expected it to go this way. But, Gerson, you got the 6th pick here at the Giants, and I think there's some things they can do differently here.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes is definitely not the tribal chief for the New York Giants. But anyway, I think it gets a little tricky here because the Germany need. And in my opinion, I don't know if the Giants are going to draft for what Dable want or if what they want for their future, knowing that Dable could possibly, either get fired or resign next season, So this is a tricky spot. I think their needs are, tackle, quarterback, wide receivers. But I think they're going to play it safe and take Rome Odunze. Probably the next best wide receiver in this draft. It's going to be... they got to fill in the wide receiver position. He's going to be the best wide receiver Danny Dimes had played with, and that's sad, because, I don't think OBJ played with him, right? He didn't, right? So
no, I think he was gone.
So Rome Odunze, I was thinking lineman, but I don't know which way they're going to go, really. But I like Rome Odunze as the best player available. You could say Joe Alt, but I'm going Odunze.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so we went through our first round of our panel members here, and as fantasy players, we took all offensive players. So
we did that.
I think it's pretty chalk. I do think we think the NFL is going to probably go this route for the most part. I think the Giants is one that could potentially mix things up a little bit, but I like that pick there, Rome Odunze for sure. We're going to go back around, and Tennessee Titans are on the board, and Miranda, this is your pick.
Oh. I am glad that you didn't take Joe Alt because I am going to snag Joe Alt, tackle out of Notre Dame. They're rolling with Levis, and Dillard was released. They'll need to protect his blind side, and I think he surrendered something insane, 6 sacks in 33 games. He's going to be stellar.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was thinking as well. They're going to go definitely with offensive line if the draft goes this way. It's for sure going to be offensive line. And that team is shaping up. The verdict's kind of still out on Will Levis or not, but that team is kind of doing some good things here, getting younger.
Mm-hmm. I'm still stunned at the Vrabel firing. I still don't understand that,
Agreed.
But I don't know. So I'm I guess they have a vision maybe that we don't see quite yet, but
They just want to hit the reset button on everything, I guess, even including the coach.
exactly.
You're right.
Yep. All right, we are up to the Atlanta Falcons at number 8. Courtney, where are you going here?
Can I pick nobody since they're in my division? No, I did a little bit. What's up?
Set them up for failure.
All right, so so I know that a lot of people are saying that going edge, but I'm going to go with Toledo's Quinion Mitchell, cornerback, because they basically, Terrell's in his last final deal of his rookie. Hamilton's 31, and they just need that. They need to be able to get the defense needs to get that other offense off the field and get Kirk Cousins back in there, and let him do his thing. So I'm going to go with Toledo's Quinion. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Mitchell, cornerback.
Yep, I like it. I'm trying to select it on the chart here, but it's not letting me for some reason. So I'm going to keep trying while we move through these.
He's good too. He's fast. He's a big boy, so I like it.
Tim, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on that pick there while I try to figure out why my mock draft is not working?
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. Maybe a little bit earlier than I had him, but I think it's a need for the Falcons. Their secondary is, pretty much trash. So I like that pick a lot.
Good stuff. All right. And let's see, we're going to the Chicago Bears next. Chicago Bears at number 9. And Reggie, this is your pick here.
I think we're going to round it out and do something and take the best player on the board. I think the Bears are going to address the other side of the ball. They had a solid defense. They can add an edge in Latu from UCLA. He's pretty dynamic. I don't know if he is the best edge that's available here on our board right now, depending on scheme. But I think that's the way to go. I thought that they might double down and go with Adunze if he fell to them, just to solidify that core of wide receivers for the future. But right here, we're just going to go with a edge. Every team can use an edge, maybe even for a possible trade later after we stop knocking.
Yeah, 100%. I love that pick there for the Chicago Bears. I mean, what was that, Ryan?
I said always use edge.
Ryan, were you trying to chime in? Yeah, you can always. It's certain positions you can always never have enough of them.
I said you can always use that.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of the Bears getting 2 significant upgrades here in the first 10 picks. Not really a fan.
I know.
We thought that was Philly last year because Philly did that. Didn't they just best player available? Oh, wait, he's still here? Yep. So that's what the Bears probably should do. I don't know if the Eagles had that much success doing it, but you don't overthink it. Get the studs.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Reggie. I thought they would be so much better after they just kept picking all those stars, and it was like it didn't show through. So maybe this year, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so I had to. Looks like I was trying to get fancy this year and go with the mock draft database, but it seemed to crash on me. So we're just going to show our version of it on screen here, so y'all can see who we're picking. I don't know what happened to it. It was working fine until about the 3rd or 4th pick, and it started lagging all of a sudden. All right, so let me pick up where we're at here. So Bears just, I blame Ryan. His internet has now affected my internet.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. We are now at number 10, the New York Jets. And Tim, you were up on the board.
Yeah, we're all fantasy players here, so I'm going to take the fun fantasy pick here and go with Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. Aaron Rodgers does not normally throw to rookies, but all that could change with Brock Bowers, a generational tight end prospect. He would fit in nicely in New York and present a true red zone threat to pair with Garrett Wilson. I absolutely love this. I don't know if it'll happen, but I like the idea.
To be fair, the Green Bay Packers haven't drafted a good rookie wide receiver for him when he was there. And the one they did was named Christian Watson. He was good for 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Brock Bowers, you talk about fantasy, that's a great landing spot for Brock Bowers for his fantasy aspects because the Jets, they basically have Garrett Wilson and not much else as far as that and receiving it.
I'm already plugging it into my DFS lineups right now.
Good stuff. All right, we are up to number 11. And the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. And Ryan, Mr. Internet himself, you're on the clock. Ryan, you're up.
Hopefully we can hear me. I want to sign language JJ for JJ McCarthy. If not, they need a I know I'm talking. My shit's not working.
We can hear you, Ryan. You're lagging quite a bit, but we can hear you.
I put it in the chat.
All right, so I guess he's coming back. So we'll go ahead and put in McCarthy there at number 11. We'll move to the Denver Broncos here at number 12. And Miranda, you're on the clock.
So this is going to be my controversial pick because I see a lot of people. It's causing a lot of anger on Twitter when his name is mentioned for some reason. But I can really see Bo Nix being a Sean Payton guy. I feel like he's similar to Drew Brees, that style of play that he ran in Oregon, which was very complex when you think about it, the way Sean Payton kind of runs his offenses. I'm going Bo Nix. I mean, their quarterback room right now is like Jarrett Stidham and Ben DiNucci, I believe. So you can't roll with those, so.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need a quarterback. That is for sure. And, yeah, I think that would probably – I don't know if that would break the NFL record, but what is that, 5 quarterbacks in the top 12?
I know.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. And Bo Nix is kind of that next guy up. It's between, I think, him and Penix Jr.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think you're right as far as the way he fits that offense better. Because he was he threw a ton of screens in college, and that's kind of what Sean Payton has built his career on.
Gets rid of the ball fast. Yeah, I think it definitely fits.
Absolutely. All right.
Can we hear me? Am I good here?
Yep, I got you now, Ryan.
All right, I just used my phone because nothing else is working.
Real
quick, JJ McCarthy was my pick there. Vikings desperately need a quarterback, and he can get the ball to those receivers and just has to, be a game manager because that's what Kirk Cousins was, and he can do that as well.
Right.
Toss him back.
Now, what are your thoughts on what Gerson said earlier about Justin Jefferson not liking that pick? You think it could hurt his fantasy stock?
Sure, but what's he going to do? What's the other option? Sam Darnold? Or are they going to magically find a quarterback in Never Never Land to get that? There's no replacing that's not there. He's already gone.
He's not going to sign a contract, Ryan. That's what he's going to do. He's going to leave.
That's fine. He's probably not.
Leave. Bye-bye.
That's the future. He's going to be good whoever he has. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'd have left in the first place, but he'll chase money.
I think someone did a stat-by-stat, side-by-side comparison of Jefferson with Cousins and without Cousins last year, and they were almost identical as far as per games numbers. So I think fantasy-wise, I think Jefferson will be fine. Now, NFL-wise, he may not be happy with the quarterback situation, but we're not too worried about that on this show.
Nope.
All right. Let's see. We got the Las Vegas Raiders are next up on
Raiders.
And Gerson, I think this might be the first time I was able to get you to get your Raiders. I know a couple times I've been able to squeeze you in. I know Reggie's also a Raiders fan, so I had 2 of y'all. But I was like, Gerson's been on the show for 8 years, and I don't think he's ever drafted for his own team. So you were on the clock, Gerson.
Okay, so what are the Raiders known for in the draft? To reach for players, right?
Bad picks.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
What are they also known for? To shock people. What are they also known for? To make me drink more on the draft night. Okay, I got it. I know the pick. All right. Antonio Pierce said a very interesting quote. He said, "We definitely need to address our quarterback room. We need to improve it. It starts from there and it ends there." Okay. The Raiders are going to take Michael Penix out of the University of Washington.
Wow. Okay, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought you was going somewhere else.
I thought maybe you're going to go the speed route because they've been known to draft this fastest guy, and they would go Xavier Worthy there. I thought that's who you were going with.
I kind of did too.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I like that.
Get the quarterbacks. 13 picks in. We got 6 quarterbacks off the board. I love it. Whew. All right. We are up to number 14. And Courtney, I was able to get the cadence down so you could get your team here this year. Give me your
Look.
Saints.
Look, screw you, Gerson, because I'm going to tell you right now, I was going to throw it out there and take him. Look, I know that the Saints wouldn't do that because the Saints break my heart every single year, but it would have been a lot of fun. I mean, Penix is from Tennessee, and it would have been a lot of fun to bring him home back down south. But we need more protection for Carr, because when Carr gets uncomfortable in the pocket, he makes stupid mistakes. And so can I emphasize that again? Stupid. So with Joe Alt being gone, I'm going to take the next one up. I'm going to take offensive tackle Olu out of Penn State.
Nice.
Great pick there. And I think Gerson and Reggie can definitely attest to Derek Carr's under pressure ability for sure. Because, he definitely needs that protection. And I think that's a great pick there at the 14. All right. We are up to number 15 in the Indianapolis Colts. And Reggie, you're on the clock.
I think we're stuck in another position where I don't think this player is going to make it to 15. So I'm just going to just double on down and take the next edge with Dallas Turner, the Indianapolis Colts. It's not a position of need for them because they need some help in that back seven. They need some help in the safeties and the cornerbacks. R.I.P. Vernon Davis' brother, Vontae Davis, I think it's passed not too long ago. That's so sad, so young. But right here, I'm just taking all the edges. I always want to get shaved up. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to say, you got a theme going on there. Just take the edges. No matter what the team is, take the best edge on the board. I like it.
Shout out to Vontae Davis. He quit halftime. He started doing the quitting halftime before it was cool. AB, I'm just letting you know. All right.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did that. Just decided that was it. He was done at halftime. All right. Let's see. We are up to number 19.
16.
16. Sorry, 16. 16. The Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, I'm jumping ahead a little bit there. Seattle Seahawks. Tim, you're on the board.
All right, so I would have ran to the podium if Dallas Turner was still on the board. So great pick there, Reggie. Instead, I am going to take another edge, Jared Verse out of Florida State. Under new coach Mike McDaniel, the Seahawks will take an edge rusher, fit perfectly in his style of defense. He can rush the passer, but he's also very good against the run and has the size to play multiple spots along the line. So, I think Seahawks, they always seem to draft defense. I think they're going to keep going with defense. Jared Verse.
Nice.
They've been looking for their guy. They can't seem to get a lot of quarterback pressures, can't get the quarterback off their spot. That is a great pick. Kind of feud my pick previously.
Yeah, I feel like last year they were getting no pressure on the quarterback. We were playing offenses against Seahawks basically every week in DFS. So they got to find some way to fix that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, we are moving right along. We are at number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Ryan, with his phone, has a better internet than
it's embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassing, we're going to talk about the Jaguars with the 28th ranked offensive line and trying to protect their franchise quarterback, which just doesn't seem to work. So we're taking Amarius Mims there, who can play both tackle spots, and just a big mauler from Georgia. He has the SEC experience facing top edge rushers. He should be able to translate and play right away.
Absolutely. That's a great pick there because you're right. The Jacksonville Jaguars need to shore up that offensive line. They have the offensive pieces there. They just need the ability to protect them and get it to those key pieces there. I love that pick. All right, I'm going to recap a little bit of the last few picks there. So we had a couple quarterbacks go. We had the Vikings taking McCarthy. We had the Broncos taking Bo Nix. We had the Vegas Raiders taking Penix Jr. So not only did we start with three quarterbacks, we had three quarterbacks go back to back to back in the middle of the draft as well. Tim, I want to ask you real quick. Do you think, what do you think the chances are that this happens in the actual NFL draft, that these quarterbacks go, maybe not these same teams in the same order, but these guys are off the board by the time we get to pick 17?
I think it's fairly unlikely. I think 4 slam dunks, 5 are maybe, yeah, probably, but yeah, 6, that's a lot. But I think it's good. I mean, everybody made good points. All of these teams are definitely quarterback needy, so they probably should if they're not, right? This show has proven in the past that we tend to sometimes know better than these teams do. So yeah. I like it. I would love if that's how it played out, though.
Yeah.
Reggie,
more teams need to take a chance, right? Like continuing to play the middle has never gotten anyone anywhere. So if you think that's your guy, go get him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Reggie, you wanted to chime in on here?
Yeah. What would we play fantasy? I'm guessing. What would this do to the back end of the first? If it really went down like this, what do you think McCarthy is going if he goes to the Vikings in that spot? And Bo Nix, they just got Jarrett Stidham, they got Sam Darnold, or the Raiders. There's all places with holdover quarterbacks. What happens in the first round of Superflex drafts? Will they be early seconds?
They all get pushed up. I think they're all probably first round picks at that point. I don't think
Bo Nix and Michael Penix won't be first rounders. McCarthy will, based on his draft capital and situation. But Bo Nix and Michael Penix, I mean,
well, he's saying if this actually happens, if Bo Nix goes to the Broncos and the Raiders take Penix, does that push them into the first round? I think it does, because I mean they're day one starters probably.
I think it pushes Bo Nix there for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to depend on who's going to go wide receiver wise at the end of the first. That's going to determine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
You really think Bo Nix and Michael Penix will start right away?
If they go to the Broncos and Raiders, I think if they're not starting day one, they're starting this year at some point.
There's always the draft capital factor because there is no RB1, but whoever goes RB1, they're going to have some kind of boost, especially if they go to Dallas. And then we have all these quarterbacks go in the first 15 picks. It's just going to make some interesting finds for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, back to the draft. We are at pick number 18. 18 is the Cincinnati Bengals, and Gerson, you are on the clock.
Okay, so the Bengals can go a lot of ways, but I think they're going to start to look basically look for T. Higgins replacement. But the thing is, with Callahan leaving, okay, my computer just went out. Can you hear me still?
Yep, we can still hear you.
Okay, with Callahan leaving, they're probably likely going to go wide receiver, and this might be a reach, but in my opinion, based on what they need to replace T. Higgins with, I think they're going to go Adonai Mitchell.
Ooh.
I can't say his name, but
Adonai
Mitchell, the wide receiver. They're going to look to just keep Joe Burrow weapons intact. I mean, they lost Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins, though, he said there was a report today. I saw it on Sleeper or something that T. Higgins said he still wants to play for the Bengals, or he's good to go, But really, in reality, to sign that long-term contract, words don't mean nothing, So I think they're just going to go wide receiver here and select Adonai Mitchell. He fits more of the prototype of what he is. I know a lot of people probably have him in the late first, but I think to me, late first, early second. But yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, good stuff. I was surprised you were going to go that route. I thought you were going to go a different route. I figured you were going to go receiver.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking one of the guys from LSU. One of them's already been drafted. So, yep, exactly. All right, we are up to pick number 19. It is the Los Angeles Rams. And Miranda, you were on the clock.
So with obviously Aaron Donald leaving, it's tough to replace a generational talent like that, but there is a interior lineman that's very incredible in this draft. Byron Murphy II out of Texas. Again, it's hard to say that he's going to replace Aaron Donald, but I think he's the best guy to give it the old try. So.
Yeah, that's a great pick there, because you're right. And I'm curious if the Rams knew it was coming or not, or if they were like blindsided.
Yeah.
Because I know I was blindsided by the retirement. I didn't see it coming, so it was very interesting. We had no really hints towards it. It was just all of a sudden he's retired. We had heard him talk about it a little bit last year, but we didn't think it would actually come to fruition, and it did. So
Yeah.
Great pick there. All right, we are up to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Did I just hear a boo?
Someone,
Is that what I said?
The Ravens fan. His internet's working now. He can talk some trash.
I know.
I know I should probably go smart here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to give. I'm going to take Brian Thomas Jr. here, wide receiver from LSU, because I mean, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Give him somebody else besides Pickens to throw to, right?
That's a good call. Yeah, I mean they lost Deontay Johnson, so they do need a receiver there, for sure.
And then they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers know how to draft a wide receiver." Brian Thomas is a good wide receiver to draft.
Yeah, they'll give the Steelers the credit because they do tend to draft good receivers. That's for sure. All right, let me recap a couple of the picks that we just had. We had a couple edge rushers go, Dallas Turner and Jared Verse back to back to the Colts and the Seahawks. Then we had Adonai Mitchell, a surprise, going to the Bengals. Byron Murphy to the Rams, and Brian Thomas Jr. we just had go to the Steelers. We are now up to the Miami Dolphins, and Reggie, you're on the clock.
All right, we're on the clock with my Go fans. I'm actually a Dolphins fan, just born and raised in Oakland, California. Raiders is my love-hate team. I'm not a fan of Al Davis, but that's a whole nother story in another podcast. But these Dolphins, like towards the end of the regular season, and we thought that we were going to see an offensive powerhouse, but the injuries were decimated them on both sides of the ball, but particularly the defensive side of the ball. They lost so much. Not only that, to free agency, they lost something. They need somebody in the middle, I think, and Johnny Newton is the highest person in the mock that I can see right now here from Illinois, and I wanted to go Byron Murphy, but we all know we got sniped. They need to do something on the defensive side of the ball and plug that hole. So Johnny Newton, that defensive line, Illinois.
Nice. Great pick there.
I appreciate Reggie holding it down with me drafting defense on an offense show.
Yeah, there's been a lot of offense drafted for sure. But I like it. Reggie's sticking to his game plan here. He's playing it smart and getting the defense because we know that's where people win the games. Love it. All right, we are up to the Eagles. And Tim, you were on the clock.
Yeah, talk about somebody you can't replace. How about Jason Kelce? Obviously, a huge retirement for the Eagles, but they are going to attempt to replace him with Jackson Powers Johnson, guard center out of Oregon. So I think if this happens, plays out this way for the Eagles, for me, this is a no-brainer. I think he's the top offensive lineman left on my board, and he feels a total need for them day one. This is a guy who could probably, start for them right away, right, and kind of help ease that transition and maybe even allow them to, I guess they can't run the tush push anymore, but, figure out their own way to move on from it. So if I'm the Eagles, man, I'm absolutely, if I'm Howie, dude, I'm sprinting to the podium on this one.
Yeah, that's a great call, and it's a a very big spot to fill. Not only is it big shoes to fill for his NFL ability, but locker room wise too. He's gonna be a hard person to replace.
Yeah, good luck, rookie.
Yeah. Go out there and follow up the best guy, probably the most known center I think in NFL history. Because everybody seems to know who Jason Kelce is, even though he's a center and never touches the ball, but they all know who he is. Love it, great pick. All right, we are up to pick number 23, and we are the Minnesota Vikings. All right, Ryan, they went quarterback already once, so you are on the board now with the Vikings' second pick in the first round.
The Vikings are a bad roster, so there's a lot of needs to fill. A lot of people want to go offensive line. There's some serious holes there, but they just lost an enormous hole in their pass rush with Daniel Hunter leaving. So I'm taking Chop Robinson out of Penn State. Nice. He's an electric pass rusher. He was a freak athlete at the combine, like any Penn State defensive end for some reason. He's a little bit raw, but he knows how to get to the quarterback, and he makes splash plays, and that's what this defense desperately needs, especially if they're trying to have a high-powered offense with the receivers they have and no running game. They need guys who can make plays.
Yeah, that's a great pull. Because you're right, that was a big loss. I almost forgot about that loss to their defense. They need someone to replace them, and that's a perfect pick there. All right, pick number 24. Gerson, you were on the clock for the Dallas Cowboys.
I feel like I'm drafted for the Cowboys every year.
Yeah,
I might be
teams
wrong,
always
though.
fall that way.
You might as well be a Cowboys fan. Raiders aren't doing it for you.
Oh, low blow.
Yeah, what have the Cowboys done? I mean, they're just heartbroken as we are the last 25 years. So I got sniped. I was looking at the player that what's his name Ryan just took, because he's the most versatile player on the offensive line. Cowboys have a lot of need. I mean, I think this is the first year that they have probably more than 5 needs. I mean, they have a need a wide receiver, tackle, center,
True.
interior lineman, and running back. But we all know there's not going to be a running back taken in the first round. At least I hope not. But I think at wide receiver, they're going to try to give Dak Prescott another weapon with CeeDee Lamb, because Brandon Cook is not there anymore, is he? He's still on the team?
He was on a 1-year contract, but he may have re-signed.
1-year contract, right?
Yeah, I think he's coming back.
I think he's
Yeah, so I mean, I think they're gonna take the draft darling combine Xavier Worthy and go that way, and then probably in the second and third round start addressing the offensive line need, because it's so like I know we're saying a lot about this draft being heavily favored toward offensive players, but it's really loaded out wide receiver and offensive linemen. I mean, there is some good defensive players, but I mean, wide receiver, quarterback, and offensive lineman is going to dominate the first round, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy. And you know, you're going to hear Jerry Jones say, "Oh yeah, we got the fastest guy, we got this, that, and that," and then he's just full of crap like always, you know. Oh, what did he say? Oh, we're going to go on a spending spree in a free agent. They didn't pick up anybody.
Nope, they didn't get nobody.
No, he's chilling on his giant yacht.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we are moving right along. We are at
here we go.
Pick number 25.
Let's go.
It is the Green Bay Packers, and Miranda, you get to make this pick here.
All right, so both of my guys are available, so that makes me giddy. And I feel like for the longest time, and I'm sure Tim sees this, our big our big draft crush at this moment, and pretty much this whole offseason, has been Cooper DeJean. I'm actually not going to pick him just because every time we have these guys that are like we're obsessed with, Goody never picks them.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to go ahead and go on the offensive side of the ball. This team, I mean, Jordan Love had a fantastic year. Had a very good line, despite, you know, Bakhtiari not playing. Obviously now he's not going to be on the team. I want to take a guy by the name of Graham Barton out of Duke. He can play up and down the line. He can plug and play in any position that we need. We have some Packers love versatile offensive linemen. And now we do have some question marks at our guard positions, specifically in our center. I'm not thrilled with Josh Myers, so I think having a guy that's able to they could do a little reshuffle in there. So I'm going to go Graham Barton.
Good stuff. Tim, I get your opinion on that. What do you think of that pick?
Oh, I love that pick. I'm a little concerned about Cooper, to be honest. So if the Packers do take Cooper, I'm going to be a little anxious. But yeah, fixing up the offensive line is always a good pick. Barton's a strong pick, so I like that, man. I was hoping you were not going to take Cooper, so we're good. We're good.
Good stuff. All right, we are at pick number 26. And Courtney, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Again, don't want to pick anybody because they're in my division. But I got sniped by Chop. I really wanted Chop Robinson because he's good, but I also just really like his name too. Like, that's just a cool name, right? Yeah. So with Shaquille Barrett going to Miami, and I think I'm just going to go with the I mean, I know that's edge versus cornerback, but I'm going to go with the best on the board here, and I'm going to go with Terrion Arnold from cornerback from Alabama.
Great pick there. Great pick. So, Tim, real quick, I want to get your a couple thoughts on a couple of things here. Just in general, give me two players. Give me your biggest value so far, and give me your biggest surprise so far.
Shoot. For me, I think probably Bo Nix is probably the biggest surprise for me. But I really like that pick. I think him and Penix in the top, 15 picks is probably, is crazy. But I was really happy about Powers Johnson to the Eagles personally. I thought that would be really good. But I mean, there's been some good picks here. I don't know that I can, pick anyone out specifically. Dallas Turner's to the Colts, Reggie's pick was an absolute steal. So I also really like that one.
Stuff. What about you, Reggie? Give me a value guy that you thought could have been drafted a little bit higher, or a surprise pick.
A surprise pick a little bit just for like team needs. Xavier Worthy to Dallas. I think someone in the chat mentioned Brandon Cook is under contracts. They're starting to warm up to Jalen Tolbert. I know Gallup is gone, but the draft is so deep at wide receiver. I don't think they'll go that direction there per se. But they could be playing keep away from another team. So that's always a thing, Jerry Jones, and what he would do. Other than that, I don't like the fit. I don't think a Bowers to the Jets is the best. I cannot think of a fantasy relevant tight end Aaron Rodgers had. And aside from that, because I hear the Michael Finleys and the Jermaine Jones or the big wide receiver, big slot or whatever. What if he gets hurt? Are we dealing with a Kyle Pitts situation? Like we've seen Garrett Wilson overcome, have struggles, but still kind of produce. What happens if Rodgers ain't right? It's just that just seems like for fantasy, that would just hurt my heart.
Yeah. I think we all, as sometimes we look at things and like, oh, they don't have a good tight end, so we want them to go there. But sometimes it's not always the best fit because maybe they don't use the tight end, or the quarterback, like you mentioned, doesn't throw to the tight end often enough. That's a good call. I like it. All right, let's get to our next pick here. Pick number 27. And Reggie, you got the Arizona Cardinals here, picking their second pick here in the first round.
Well, I know that the Cardinals was real scrappy last year, and they really need to add some pieces to that defense. But they got Marvin Harrison. They still got Kyler Murray. They could use another weapon, but like I said, the wide receiver room is deep. We're going to go with J.C. Latham with the prestige coming out of Alabama, the offensive tackle. I think that they're still figuring out that room there. If we can get Kyler Murray back to his old self and comfortable, and if you look at his stats, he was not bad coming off that injury. Like coming back from an injury, he actually did pretty well, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and just solidify that offensive line, make them more comfortable. And I really wanted Terrion Arnold, or I was thinking McKinstry from Alabama, but just feasible, just lock down that offensive tackle and get some more help later in the draft.
Yeah. I agree. The draft is so deep. I think you can do that there and still get some good talent later on in the draft.
But there's so many good tackles too. I didn't want to make that pick because you could get another tackle later, but not one like J.C. Latham.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we are up to pick number 28. And I only make 2 picks a year. I pick for my 49ers, and I pick one other team just to make things even. So I have the Buffalo Bills. And the way this draft fell, y'all took all the players I wanted for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm over here like panicking, trying to figure out who I want to take.
You know who you're taking.
Well done, everyone.
I know who you're taking.
So
Me
I
too.
think Ryan probably knows who I'm taking because he's kind of my fantasy crush right now. And I know I'm going to get some hate from Jamie because he's in the chat and he does not like this guy. But I think he's going to be a number one receiver. I think some of his drop issues in college is a little bit overblown. He is a big physical wide receiver. I think he will be perfect for Josh Allen, who loves to throw the deep ball. I'm going with Keon Coleman here. I know Troy Frank is probably the better option. He's a speedster, but I think Keon Coleman has all the tools to be a great NFL receiver, despite the hate that he's gotten in the fantasy community and the hate that I've gotten for taking Keon Coleman higher than he should be taking in all my rookie mocks. So Keon Coleman to the Buffalo Bills would be a perfect fit. All right.
Nobody who watches the show is surprised by that pick.
Yeah, exactly. No. Jamie's already in the chat like he knows who I'm taking. I knew Jamie would have a hard time about it. All right. We are almost to the end of this draft. It's pick 29. And we are at the Detroit Lions. And Tim, they're in your division here. So what you got for the Lions?
Yeah, it kills me to have a good pick go to a division rival, but
do it.
to me, it's Kool-Aid. It's Kool-Aid to the Lions, man. It's basically Alabama North, best nickname in the draft. You know, huge position with the loss of Cam Sutton. You know, he's a long, smooth athlete, great football IQ. I think he basically goes and starts for the Lions. So if I'm them and he falls, it's a no-brainer. Match him up with Brian and call it a day.
Good stuff. Hey, Courtney, better nickname, Chop Robinson or Kool-Aid?
I mean, I like both of them a lot, but
that's good. That's true. That's true.
You know, I'm still sticking with Chop. I like Chop.
Okay, fair.
Chop.
That's fair.
It's more footballish, you know. I mean, I feel like Kool-Aid's just like, oh, go drink the Kool-Aid, but Chop, I'm gonna chop you, you know. Like,
yeah, good stuff. I
fair.
love it. All right, we are up to pick 30. And we are at Ryan's Baltimore Ravens. What's up, Ryan? What you got?
Side note, do you know why Chop Robinson's nicknamed that?
I do not.
Because he was a 14-pound baby and his parents called him pork chop.
Yeah, he was a big boy. I knew that.
He was a monster.
Wow.
That was his nickname, Pork Chop.
I want to go offensive. Ravens have like 3 glaring needs. Offensive line is a big one for the second tackle position, but the way offensive line is this year, it's absolutely loaded. So I'm kind of passing on that for now. I'm going with Cooper DeJean. He definitely has some warts in his game, but he's so versatile, and the Ravens defense is trying to play this positionless football with guys moving over the field, blitzing from everywhere, whether it be Cal Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey moving around, linebackers, edge rushers kind of like fading into each other. Cooper DeJean can play safety, corner, outside, inside. His versatility in solid tackling makes him a player who kind of fits the Ravens system and makes that defense just improve on what it already is, adds to its strength.
I love it. Great pick there. All right, so I'm up next, but before I get to that, I want to get a couple more of y'all opinions here on some of the values and some of the surprises. Miranda, I'm gonna go to you. Give me a guy that you think was a value, or a guy that you think that was just a big surprise in this draft so far.
Kind of agree on the Dallas Turner. That's huge. Courtney's pick of Fashanu, I think, is huge. I mean, what was that, pick 12 or 14?
14,
yeah. Forgetting. I think if he fell to 14, I think that's pretty good.
It's a solid pick.
Surprises. Now, I love the pick, but Tim's Jackson Powers Johnson, I've not seen him mocked a lot in the first round. I think he's kind of one of those fringe end of it, but I mean, it's great value there, and it's like you said, it's an immediate need to replace Kelsey. So I like it.
Gerson, what about you? What do you got for value or surprise?
I think the biggest value is the Ravens pick, Cooper DeJean.
I like that.
There's a whole narrative. White people don't play cornerback. I hope I don't get canceled for that.
I don't know if it's a narrative. There's pretty much a long history of that.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And you already know every brother that lines up against him gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna roast this white boy. I can't wait. So he's gonna get the best of it. But I think he can hold up. I mean, he was hurt. He went out and did his pro day. He had good numbers. I mean, he had the tape. He had the PFF rated him pretty high. They rated him top 10 as like overall positional value. I mean, I think the Ravens always, there's 3 teams that I always say draft very well in draft, and I hate to say this. Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Eagles. They always draft really great in draft, no matter what. And the Ravens are always up there. Great value there. And I think, and I'm gonna say that the biggest reach was definitely Adonai Mitchell, and that's my own pick. But it's because I think it's the best fit of the type of player they want to replace T. Higgins with. I like Brian Thomas Jr. They have very similar traits, and I might have missing out or regret or remorse or whatever. But I think Adonai Mitchell. I think. Oh wow, that's pretty high. But that's probably like the chocolate pick for me to try. Even my own pick.
I love it. All right, so I am up at 31. And, of course, the 49ers, if you look at their history since our GM took over, we draft defensive line in the first round almost every single year. I mean, it's almost like laughable at some point. I know we've taken Brandon Ayuk in the first round. You know, he was an offensive player. But for the most part, we've gone D-line. Chase Young experiment didn't work out. He has now moved on. So I think we'll be looking for another defensive lineman. And the best one still on the board, Mr. Darius Robinson from Missouri, is who I will take here to pair him with Nick Bosa. And that's, that we've always built from the defensive line. We had needs at cornerback as well. I could have gone cornerback here, but as Reggie mentioned earlier, edge is the way you go. If you can go edge, you can never have enough edge rushers. So I'll take Darius Robinson here at the 31st pick. All right, let's round it out to number 32.
And before you go, there's also to be said at the end of the draft, he's still a first rounder. Don't you get an extra year on his contract if you get him here?
Yeah. That's true. Very true.
That position, that is huge. If he hits.
If he hits 100%, you get that 5th-year option for sure. All right, Gerson, round it out here with the Kansas City Chiefs going at 32.
So the last 3 minutes or so, I've been looking at the draft sheet because I want to make sure this guy is available, and I think he is because I don't see him anywhere on here. If the Kansas City Chiefs get this guy, it'll be a really good value for them. They need a tackle. What's his name? I don't even know his name, but he was actually my favorite player on the Kansas City Chiefs because he would have more false start, more holding. He had the most penalties
Orlando Brown
in the NFL, and I mean, they signed him, right? So they look like they're ready to move on for him, but. I like Taliese Fauga out of Oregon State. Yeah. I think he's actually going to be a top 20 pick. I couldn't believe he fell this far, but I like him. I think they're going to draft him. They'll take the tackle and then hopefully get that 1 year. That's huge for tackles, linemen, and running back and all those guys. Just the critical positions where you can get high value at. But I think they're going to address tackle. I don't think they're going to go wide receiver because at this point, with this draft the way it went, there's not a wide receiver that they're really willing to go, hey, let's go draft this guy.
Yeah, because a couple guys that they could probably get in the second round that are going to be just as good as guys still on the board because we've been pretty heavy in receivers.
Gerson, how do you watch the easiest names and get his right?
That's Gerson for you.
That's Gerson. It's the Polynesian in him.
Gerson will mispronounce Bo Nix, but get that right.
Every time.
Ryan, I haven't got your biggest surprise and your biggest value yet. Who did you like in this draft?
I mean, I hate the quarterbacks going Bo Nix and Penix are old. The fact close to 25-year-old quarterbacks being drafted outside before the 3rd round. I'm just don't believe in that in the NFL. We've seen it with Kenny Pickett. We've seen some other ones who are just older, and it's just you kind of hit your peak late. I can see it, but I hate the old QBs at that point. The Brian Thomas Jr. for Pittsburgh is filthy, and I think a value there with some of the other receivers who went ahead of him. I would hate to see him there in real life, but that really opens up that offense and is a great vertical threat, which is what Russ likes and how we saw him thrive when he was in Seattle. There are 2 guys who could stretch the field with Lockett and Metcalf, and that gives him that with him and Pickens.
Good stuff. And Courtney, have I asked you your biggest surprises yet?
You have not, but it's got to be Gerson's Adonai Mitchell. I mean, for me, it was a huge surprise. And I actually, and I know you already said it, but that really was I even wrote it down when Geoff started asking everybody. But I know everybody's down on the Bo Nix pick, but I completely agree with Miranda. Being a Saints fan my entire life and knowing Sean Payton, that they need that. They need the quarterback. And yes, he is an older quarterback, but I'm telling you, I can 100% see them doing that. They are going to take a quarterback in the first round, and it will be either Bo Nix because everybody else is going to be gone. So yeah, I like the pick. I actually really like the pick.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, let me say, Geoff, from my perspective, everybody did really well this year. But I want to point out that Courtney yet again came strong with every one of her picks this year. Like, if you look through her picks, like every single one of them, you're like, yep, strong, yep. Like, bring it up.
The fact that Geoff keeps inviting me back, I do a lot of research. I mean, I've gotten sheets over here, notes and notes and notes, and make sure that I'm on top of it so that Geoff continues to invite me back.
I'm just gonna say on that Bo Nick call, like, even if he turns out to be bad, it can't be as bad as Paxton Lynch. So I think they'll be okay. I actually think Bo Nix is a decent quarterback in the right system, the right coach. And I always say this, like, if you have the right weapon, the right system, the right coach, you can succeed as a quarterback. I mean, we saw it last year. Bryce Young went to Panthers. We knew he didn't have a wide receiver. We knew he didn't have a great system. We knew, like, what are they doing? And then when C.J. Stroud, and shout out to Courtney again, the mock draft guru, C.J. Stroud was going to an offense that had, they had Nico Collins. They went for Donko, Tank Dell. I didn't think Tank Dell was going to be that great, but he turned out to be good. And that offense looked great for him. So, and they're only improving it. They got Stephon Diggs this year. So Bryce Young is probably kicking himself like, man, I almost wish you guys could have not taken me.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, 100%. All right, that wraps up the podcast. We'll go around the room, and everyone can kind of plug their Twitter handle or anything that you might be working on currently. We'll just go clockwise here. Ryan, we'll go to you first.
Find me Twitter, Foss534. Find me at GoingFor2 at the Armchair Fantasy Show on Wednesday nights. Find me over the Rookie Big Board on the Dynasty Big Board podcast. Normally comes out Wednesday mornings.
All right, and we're going to start a GoFundMe for Ryan's internet account after the show.
Dude, I literally, I just got so mad. I hard reset my computer and am starting it from scratch. And if that doesn't work, I'm just buying a new one and throwing it out the window.
Time to move again.
Or moving again.
Miranda.
All right, you can find me at Murda She Wrote on Twitter, and I write for Draft Countdown. It's just at Draft Countdown. I will be live on the first night of the draft. Probably a little toasty. I'm going to be on, I think, at like 10 o'clock at night. So it's the only way I can stay awake is following Gerson's footsteps there. Yeah, so it should be fun.
Good stuff. Courtney.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much for having me, Geoff, and it was a pleasure to hang out with all of y'all tonight. So you can find me on Twitter at LoveTractor3, and you can find me at GoingFor2. I do as much as I possibly can when I can, and I've been doing the 2-point version with good old Kyle, who's in the chat over there, and Gladys. We missed you, Gladys. And so, yeah, find us when we're going to start back. I'm actually going out of town for about 10 days, so we're going to start back. Kyle and I are going to start back right afterwards. So
awesome. Good stuff. Gerson?
You can find me at Fantasy GDFS on Twitter. I will be coming back this year.
Oh, the announcement is official now.
This is the official announcement. I will be making my comeback. Last year was rough, but last year was my first year as a superintendent on my company, and managing 3 crews was something I was very, very worried about, and I couldn't commit 120%. The extra 20% is the 12-pack for the show.
Yeah.
You know, I'm absolutely all in this year. I'm coming back. I'm gonna make every show. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be like the 3 amigos back together, you know. And of course, I hope we have some guests, because we had some awesome guests last year, and I was totally. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm getting goosebumps. And just those guests that you guys have were awesome people. I mean, hope to have some of them back. Maybe we can do I don't know if there's the Fab Four. Maybe we can have a Fab Four for our show, you know?
There we go.
But yeah, you can find me on Friday night on the DFS show, the Armchair DFS show. But yeah, thanks a lot, Geoff. I love this show for sure, the mock draft. I mean, I still hold the most Hall of Fame call ever, Baker Mayfield 101.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield 101. A month before anybody even thought about it, they were thinking it was going to be Sam Darnold. That was a good call from G. All right, Tim, what you got?
Yeah, Gerson really said it all, man. Thanks again, Geoff, for having me back. I told you I look forward to the show all year long. And then, yeah, on Twitter at Keto DFS. Catch us in the fall for the DFS show. And yeah, join the chat.
Absolutely. And Reggie.
I'm sorry, I caught an inadvertent elbow from Foss's internet, but I'm gonna be okay. It's worse than it looks worse than it is. You can find me at the Network One, TH33, the word network, and the number one on all platforms. We do some commissioning, we do some gaming over at Twitch. It's the same name everywhere. Thanks for GoingFor2 for having me, and I look forward to checking you guys out and joining in the future.
Awesome. Well, we'd love to have you back for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming on today. I appreciate it. Had a few hiccups, but it wouldn't be an Armchair Fantasy Show without a few hiccups in technology, right, Ryan?
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so stressed right now.
I do want to plug our draft show. So we've done this the last, I think, 4 years. We're going to be live for all 3 days of the draft for the entire thing. We're going to have all the show hosts from GoingFor2 Live all take a different segment. I think me and Danny Ocean kick it off on Thursday, and then we'll go through the entire thing. And then me and Ryan will kick it off on the Friday, the second round. And then Kyle, who's in the chat, he's kind of a glutton for super long shows. He's going to be doing the Saturday show. He'll go for as long as he possibly can. It'll probably be 3 or 4 hours long at least. Definitely check that out.
How do you not do the first round, Ryan, with Geoff?
I have no idea. It's news to me right now.
We switched it up this year. Me and Ryan have always wanted to do the second round, so this year we're going to be doing the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to have Danny Ocean and D from the Speak On It kick it off on Thursday, but unfortunately D had a thing that he couldn't do. So
let's throw a party on draft night then at my house.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so yeah, make sure y'all check that out, and of course, check out everybody's content that's on this panel here. And for everybody here, I want to thank you for showing up tonight, and thanks to everybody in the chat. Looks like we got 190 live viewers currently, so thank you all for tuning in tonight, and we will see y'all on draft night. Have a good night.
Peace.
Go Pack, go!
Yay! Go Pack.
Night, guys. Have a great night. Thank you, Geoff.